Hi there. Some time ago, in the beginning of this corona crisis, it's already almost 1 month ago or a bit more, I wrote this opinion piece that I called A Round of Applause for Our Anonymous Heroes. I'd like to share it with you today. It's beautiful to see lately how so many people in Belgium and Europe gather on the street, take post on their terraces and hang out their windows to put their much discussed and well-washed hands together to applaud and support all healthcare workers. Those who are working tirelessly round the clock, who are fighting an invisible enemy and put their own health on the line for the bigger purpose, for all of us, our very own heroes. Yes, it's beautiful to see. And still, I can't help but feel succumbed by a hint of sadness witnessing this spontaneous show of solidarity. Now, the source of my sadness is something that's been haunting me my entire life, and there's no silencing it anymore. It's calling out even louder in these times of crisis. Now, even though I think it's wonderful and welcome that our hearts are beating for one another right now, and even though I'm grateful for all of it, I can't help but find it a bit sad that we can hardly be this kind to one another on any given day. And I can't help but find it a pity that we all seem so scared to have compassion for each other, that we hardly go through the trouble of understanding one another, and that we close our eyes to the real life, the joys and the pain around us every single day, nearby and far away. Now, it's such a shame that we seem to be so scared to connect with one another and focus on our differences rather than celebrate what we do have in common as, let's face it, teeny tiny humans. Now, I'm not pointing the finger at you or him or her. No, truth is that most of us are guilty of not connecting and ignoring what's right in front of us, myself included. Now, why wait for a corona crisis or any crisis to show appreciation for the other and applaud for our anonymous heroes, those people who are there for us every single day? Every ordinary day that we take for granted and that sometimes cannot move along quickly enough. Now, why do we wait for an undeniable crisis to celebrate the common people around us? The people who live next door, or who serve us in the supermarket, or even those others we share our home with. Now, we only recognize these unknown, unrecognized, but oh so important people who carry our society when we're forced to realize how much we need them. Now, they're invisible when times are good and indispensable when things couldn't seem to get any worse. Now, don't get me wrong. The heroes we do celebrate every single day in the form of superstars, they're amazing. But what I'd like to get at is that whether we want it or not, we're all connected to each other. We all have our gifts and we all add something special, something valuable, something worthy of celebration to the world as we know it today. Heroes are the nurse, the teacher, the garbage man, the housekeeper, the factory worker, the doctor, the archaeologist, the writer, just as much as the celebrity, the politician, the YouTube star, the musician, and the star athlete. We're all part of a bigger whole, an international, earthly, human organism that can't walk, stand, live, or breathe without every single one of us. Now, visualize it as your own body, your temple, as they say, that can't be without a nose, ear, toe, or kidney. A work of genius called humanity, with Mother Earth as its home. The words we speak, the deeds we do, and also what we don't do and what we don't say, everything affects the other. Now, in the Far East, they call this karma. the law of cause and consequence. Everyone we've ever been in touch with left a mark on us, opened a new world for us, and we, in our turn, have influenced them. Every other brought us something, taught us something, or at least gave us the intention and the chance to enrich ourselves. Every other has shaped and changed us in one way or another, molded like a sculptor creating his masterpiece with love and dedication. And just like that, humanity is like a big lake on which a little stone is thrown. A stone that bobs and bounces and creates ripples on the water's surface. Little ripples that expand and in their turn expand and form new ripples, and so on and so forth until the entire lake slowly dances. Now, the ways in which we move each other are endless. We can find them nearby and far away. Just think about the writer who gave us the chance to look inside his mind, allowed us to travel in and with his thoughts, or the musician who touched our hearts and soothed our sorrows with lyrics in which we read our own words, or the star athlete who astonished us with his almost superhuman achievements and reminded us that with willpower, perseverance, hard work, and belief in ourselves, we can move mountains. But a bit closer to home, think about the friend who hurt you, and by doing so, gave you the priceless chance to reflect and to grow. Or your not so famous mother, who rocked you in her loving arms and spoke words of wisdom, and then taught you what it feels like to let go. And the stranger you met on the street, with whom you never even exchanged one word, but whose aura radiated so much freedom and showed you in his own silent way that you too could be that free. Well, it's a shame, but these days it's not even that hard to imagine a world without human warmth, without care, hugs, or a simple touch. When we're forced to miss all of this, we come to realize more than ever just how much we mean to one another, how important we are for each other. Just ask those people who are forced right now to stay in the hospital all alone without visitors. Now, we're all needed. We're all needed to provide a listening ear, to motivate, inspire, share, but also to provoke, to confront, and to scar each other in ways that only make us stronger. Now, all of us are necessary to make the planet spin, that planet as we know it. And better even, all of us are necessary to make this a better place. Frivolous as heavenly dancers or singers with nightingale voices, or more practically, by hammering nails into the tables we gather our families around. All of us, without exception, are needed. Now, I tell you, and I tell myself, don't look down on, and don't look up to. An Oscar winner isn't better than the nurse who takes care of your granny. A star football player with a big fat bank account isn't worth more than he who through sunshine and rain, through blistering heat and trembling cold collects your garbage. A temporary reality star isn't more interesting than she who teaches your children the ABC. And the healthcare worker isn't only a superhero in times of crisis. Now, a crisis shouldn't be necessary to remind us of this, to reflect on things and to appreciate. But unfortunately, it seems like we really needed one, and we needed this harsh motivation. Now, I'm truly grateful that we seem to have finally found the encouragement we were lacking in these times of washing hands and virtual hugs to be there for each other, to appreciate each other. And yes, I do cherish a silent hope, not so silent anymore now, that when a day becomes an ordinary day again, when we're finally allowed to go out of our homes, when we can finally complain about Ryanair again, and when we can kiss and hug and party to our heart's content, well, I hope that then we can still find the time to applaud for each other and find superheroes on every street corner. That's what I hope.